Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you do have a voice, you have a community, and you are never alone. And my guest today, this has been a long time coming for this guest because I was trying to get her on earlier in the year and it didn't work. And now she's in now. I'm excited for you to meet her. So as support programs manager, Lakisha Harris of, by the way, Hydrocephalus Association is where she is working and doing amazing work. So she provides direct constituent support and helps to advance the goals of Hydrocephalus Association through, development support programs. And we're going to talk about all those. I don't remember what they all are, but we'll get there. She's obviously passionate about, connecting individuals to health information and resources to help them, achieve a good quality of life amidst having this crazy condition called hydrocephalus, which we'll talk about that too. That is a condition that I was actually born with. So this is going to be really cool. This is hitting home today. So Lakisha received a Bachelor's of Science in Community Health from the University of Maryland College Park and School of Public Health, and a Master of Science, in Health Education and Promotion from Walden University. So she knows what she's talking about. We're gonna talk to her here, and let me see, where is she? There she is. All right, there she is. Hey, Lakisha, thank you so much for being here. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be awesome.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
Bring it on. This is gonna be good stuff. I always love it when I have somebody on from Hydrocephalus Association, because this, like I said before, man, this hits home because this is a thing. It's a thing. Brain surgery is a thing. Hydrocephalus is a thing. Mm-hmm. It's a very common thing. And that's why I'm so thankful for Hydrocephalus Association, because we've got to get the word out, because it's invisible most of the time. And that makes it a little tough to tell people, no, really, I've had brain surgeries.
Exactly.
You look fine. Don't worry about it. What's wrong with you? You look normal. You look great, and they don't have, it's like, spend a day in my body. I dare you, So let's hit the ground running here. Can you start by just tell us a little bit about your personal connection to hydrocephalus and what led you to go down this path and work in this field?
Yeah. So, it's so funny when I get asked this question all the time when people call in, like, do you have a connection? Do you have hydrocephalus yourself? How did you get to the Hydrocephalus Association? Yeah. And I always do a little chuckle because actually I knew nothing about hydrocephalus. So as you mentioned, my background is public health, or I have a health education background. So most of the things that I do are, the fields that I've been in, they're always designed to help people achieve a good quality of life for those who are underserved. So I'm always in that area. I was I was working at the health department here in Maryland, in my county, and I was doing diabetes prevention at the time, when I received a call from someone from the Hydrocephalus Association. They were like, "We got your resume and you applied for," and I'm like, "What?" Like,
when was that?
of course I was like keeping it cool, like, yeah, of course. Like, what?
Of course.
Yeah, what's it? Okay, yeah, I'll schedule a phone interview, of course. So after I hung up and scheduled that phone interview, of course, like probably most people like always keep track of all of the places that they are applied to, what the job description, and I have little folders like with everybody, and I search my folders like high and like all over, and no hydrocephalus. Like, I'm like, what is this? Like, okay. I have no idea what this condition is and what the job entails or anything like that. So I did a little research. Of course, only a little research cannot necessarily give you the full, full spectrum of what hydrocephalus is and how they impact. But you can read about it, right? But you really don't know until you get into the job and start talking to people and being around people with hydrocephalus. So the individual called me back and said, okay, asking me questions, and I said, I just said, I have to be honest, I don't know anything about, like, except for what I researched. Of course I'm going to research, except for what I researched, and I don't know anything about this job position. But he was so kind enough to reschedule my appointments, and he's like, I'll send you the job description, and you go ahead and look over it and we can try again. And he did, and he tried again, and that says it all. And I always say, God just dropped it in my lap. But this was the best decision I've ever made to step into this, world here with the community. So I've learned a great deal from everybody around me, the people, the lives that impact me. They say I impact them, but they impact me. All the individuals, and I've made, my connection is just all of the friends that I've made through HA that have this condition. So of course, my colleagues and my boss who has a daughter with it. So near and dear to my heart. So my heart definitely is in this place.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I was so excited when Amanda got back to me last year and was like, yeah, sure, we'll be on the show. I was like, what?
She's amazing, isn't she?
I can believe I still can't believe it that she actually agreed to do that. So I was like, wow, that's fantastic. So, and that's what's led us to so many other guests and led us to this day, time too. So I'm still thankful to her and to the Hydrocephalus Association and just that they've connected me with so many other people. It's been awesome. So I so appreciate you and Amanda and the whole organization. It's been great. So, and I've gotten to come to a couple of calls. There's like a men's support
call, yes.
And then I went to a women's support call too and talked to them there, and it's been really cool. So,
how did it go with the men's? That's what I should ask.
You know what? Those two groups are run very differently. The differences are vast. I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, because I didn't know what I was coming into, man. I mean, I met the organizers of both of them, of course, but I was like, I have no clue what to expect, but it was really cool. It was very, very real and very just, people are just talking, man. It's like they're just venting and talking and saying, this is what's going on, and it's like nobody's shy about nothing.
Definitely we're not shy.
Right? And so it was great. And the women's group, it was back to back. It was the men's group one day, and then the women's group was like the next day. It worked out on the calendar. So I was like, well, this will be fun. This will be a very good contrast. So it was really cool, though. I'm still making connections from that women's group that I was talking to. And so,
that's so great. Yes.
Yeah. So it's been pretty awesome. And I wasn't able to. They reached out to me again. I'm not able to come this month, but or in November, but I hopefully, or maybe, I can't remember. There was one of them they asked me. I was like, nah, I can't make it to that one, but maybe the next one, because I did. It was fun. It was a great.
They love to be empowered and to learn how to share their story or just learn about others' journey, like how they become,
Yeah.
in the position that they're in and manage the condition to,
Right.
overall. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and by the way, everybody watching now, like, I want to tell you that if this crazy, what the heck does hydrocephalus mean? What is that big fancy word that I don't know how to spell? What does that mean? If you hear anything today that is like you're curious about, or you're like, oh yes, I know somebody with hydrocephalus, we need to connect them. Whatever sparks your interest, scan the QR code.
Yes,
It'll go to
please.
the Hydrocephalus Association. You can connect with Lakisha and anybody else at the organization that you need to connect with to answer your questions or get involved. All the things. And if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching there, super easy. Just put a comment in the comments there. Whatever. You don't have to get into your story if you don't want to. It's not to get personal if you don't want to, but just say yes, I'd like more information or something like that, and we'll get back to you. So that's why we're here. You've got Lakisha for the next 40 minutes. So let's take advantage of it. Let's we want to get as much information as we can out. So so as the show would hint, we're talking about invisible conditions, right?
Mm-hmm,
so hydrocephalus, most of the time, unless there's another condition that's with it,
right? Exactly.
Hydrocephalus itself is very invisible almost all the time, right? You don't usually see it.
Exactly. Yes.
So from what you've heard over with the time that you've been with HA, what are some of the challenges that people have come to you with?
So I've been with HA almost 7 years. January will be 7 years. So I've been here a long time. And it goes by so fast when you're having fun, right? when you're enjoying the company. I mean, anything from, just, of course, the main thing, and of course not everybody has these migraines or anything, but of course dealing with the debilitating migraines, and then of course all the other extra pain that comes along, such as nerve pain if you've had multiple brain surgeries. People develop seizures that sometimes undetectable for a while, and eventually they realize, oh, it's a seizure. Anything, especially when their shunt is not working properly. Everybody's impacted differently, so symptoms can vary greatly from person to person. That is a huge challenge. So they can become, slurred in their vision. Slurred in their speaking, or vision becomes impaired. Walking becomes impaired. Things like that. Generally, like, of course, you can see walking, but other things you cannot necessarily see.
Right. Yeah, no, and I can relate to all of those. Over the last 47 years on this planet, and having 7 brain surgeries so far, I get it. And really nothing was a problem until about 11 years ago. I had 3 surgeries growing up, 3 brain surgeries. Had a few others that were, that were like, the brain impacted this, and so I had to have surgery to deal with that, but it wasn't directly brain surgery. But the brain surgery, and I've had 4 since between 2014 and now.
Okay.
And so, yeah, things come up, man. Migraines are a thing. Balance is a thing. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So, yeah, and not everybody. When you look it up, by the way, don't look it up on WebMD. You'll come away with 15 other conditions you didn't know you had. But if you look it up on a website, like an informative thing, it'll tell you that symptoms are, nausea and vomiting and fever and all the, there's all this list of all these symptoms. But to your point, not everybody, like I have never experienced some of those. Headaches are the main thing that tell me, and I don't know if this has been an experience for you with other people that they've talked about this, but I usually say that those of us with hydrocephalus have become headache connoisseurs.
Yes.
Right? So, yes. Because we live with them every single day, and you get to figure out, no, that headache's no big deal. That's just I didn't eat enough today, or I slept wrong or something, right? Versus, oh, I should pay attention to that one. Maybe we should go.
Is it a shunt headache, or is it? Yes.
Yeah. So exactly. So yeah. So what are some? So I'm sure you've over 7 years, you've heard plenty of these too. What are some of the misconceptions and misunderstandings that people
Mm-hmm.
have come that people have said? Like maybe it's a family that they just found out a diagnosis or something, or
Mm-hmm.
like what's some of that you've heard? I'm sure it's crazy. Some of it.
Yeah, it's so funny because people are, especially when they're newly diagnosed, and they're like, we can't even pronounce this word first and
Right?
foremost. Like, what is hydrocephalus? And oh, you know what? As soon as we get the treatment for it, we're going to be all better. We're good to go. There's
Yeah.
no more issues and we're good to go. That's one of the, especially in the older adult population, they think that, okay, I had brain surgery and I had this shunt put in and I should be back to my normal life. But then they realize like, no, it's a condition that needs to be managed. And there are issues that come along that may occur due to the fact that you've had brain surgery, one or two or three. It might or may not, but
Yeah.
there it's just you have to have a new a new relative to yourself, like how am I going to manage these new conditions and apply. But no, that
Yep.
definitely the huge misconception is that they're going to be back to normal and things are going to be great. That's probably the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a
Mhm.
guy I love this guy, but he would see me almost every day. I'd see him at the job that I had at the time, and he saw me come back from my most recent revision brain surgery in October of 2021, and I was back at work, and he's like, "Oh, cool, you're back, so you're good now,
Yeah.
right? You're all
You're good to go.
good
You're
now." I
good.
said, "Well." Yeah, that's the misconception. It's like, well, no, I had brain surgery, so I'm still alive now.
Yeah, exactly.
The alternative is
Exactly.
you'd never see me anymore. So
Mhm.
yeah, but you're right. Misconceptions abound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, more, and especially like for parents, more so for parents, especially when they're newly diagnosed, their infant is diagnosed, it's more like of a, oh my gosh, this is a death sentence for us
Oh,
now, right? Like,
yeah.
oh, that my child will not have a good life. So they're worried about that's for the parent side. They're worried about that. And we have to say, no, you know what? Your child can have a relatively good quality of life. Yes, you have to have treatment. And yes, you have to manage it. But overall, there are plenty of individuals who have good quality with hydrocephalus that have good quality of life.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
that there are not challenges, but they still have good quality of life, right?
Yeah. Well, and hello, life has challenges whether you have
With
hydrocephalus
their
or not.
exactly.
So
Yes.
it's just a matter of what flavor of challenge are you going to get. So
I like that. What flavor of challenge?
come on.
Exactly. Regardless to whether you have the condition or not, there are challenges, health challenges.
I mean, especially like you have a new baby, you have challenges. It
Mhm,
doesn't matter
mhm.
if there's a condition involved or not. So it's
Exactly.
just how it's all about. You only have 100% control over one thing, and that's your
Mhm,
attitude. And
mhm. Oh my
so
gosh.
that's
Yes.
it. So if
Yes.
the attitude is the only thing you have 100% control over, nothing else. And so everything else is just an illusion of control, honestly. And
Mhm.
so if you can control that attitude and control your perception of things, that's half the battle, or more than half. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You can write our article that we're writing now for quality of life. We put attitude at the top. I need you to come and finish
Hey,
that.
bring it on. I'll take it. Send it to me. I'm in. Well, I'll tell you what. Hey, I feel like this is a good spot. I know time flies when you're having fun. We've already been doing this 20 minutes. We're going to go to we're going to go to a commercial break real quick
Okay.
and make the sponsors happy.
Yes.
And then we'll be back and we're going to talk more to Lakisha, and we're going to talk more about some stories. We're going to talk. I want to hear some stories, man, because I know you got stories. So we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. We got some more stuff to cover. So everybody stick around. By the way, I'm going to take this down. Don't worry, it'll be back.
Yes.
So stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
He's 4 years old and he's had 3 brain surgeries.
12 brain surgeries.
28 brain surgeries.
I've had 100
40 surgeries.
You don't know at any time you're going to be having a brain surgery.
My school year this year, I had like 4 brain surgeries.
I think of my hydrocephalus as a huge brick wall. There's not near enough information out there.
New treatment options, anything to help the pain.
We believe that there will be a cure.
Never say never.
A cure would mean no more brain surgeries for everybody.
No more brain surgeries.
No more BS.
No more BS.
No more
No more
brain surgeries.
brain surgeries.
Hey there. You know, every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy.
And I'm Minna.
We're the hosts of Chronically Healthy Life.
Join us Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time on Vitality TV to see how we flip the idea of chronic on its head and create chronic health in our bodies, minds, finances, and relationships right here on E360 TV.
All right, everybody. Before we bring Lakisha back and talk some more about some amazing stories that we're going to hear, because I know we will, I want to talk about Invisible Condition University. Now, Invisible Condition University, oops, I'm going to take that down so it doesn't get in the way. There we go. Now we can see it. Invisible Condition University is something that I wish had been around about 10 years ago. So I've seen the inside of an operating room way too many times in the last 10 years. I've had 4 brain surgeries and 2 other surgeries related to those brain surgeries, 6 total in the last 10 years. That's a lot. And every time I would go to the hospital, I would meet amazing medical professionals that treated me, did the surgery, all the things. But once you leave the hospital, they can't help you anymore. And so that's why my wife, Catherine, and I created ICU. We wanted to provide a place where other people like us, maybe like you, could come and find community that listens, that cares, that walks with you, no matter what the condition is, no matter where you are in the process. We meet on Zoom twice a month for about an hour. If it goes longer, it goes longer, but we start with about an hour. We want this to be a safe place for patients, their caregivers, anybody else that you want to be there with you on the call. We want it to be a safe place for you to ask questions, vent frustrations. There's some of those, and find information that maybe they're not learning. Maybe their medical provider didn't give them the whole picture. They didn't give them all the information. We want you to come and we'll work through it with you. If you'd like to learn more or would like to receive a free 30-day membership, just scan the QR code, go to myfreegiftfromjeff.com, and you can learn about it and check it out. And I would love to see you there. It would be an honor to see you there. All right, let's bring Lakisha back. All right, here we go. Let's pick up where we left off here. And we were talking about stories. Mm-hmm. So first, before we get there, something just popped into my head. Hydrocephalus Connect, for some reason. I was looking at the website before we got on here, and Hydrocephalus Connect is what keeps running through my head. What is that? And then there's a pen pal program, and you guys have been coming out with all kinds of cool stuff. Tell us about some of those programs first.
Yes, so Hydrocephalus Connect is our peer support program where individuals can get one-on-one support, whether you're newly diagnosed or you've been diagnosed for years, or you're a parent with a child. It doesn't matter, who you are, as long as you have a family member or yourself are impacted by the condition. You can reach out and ask for one-on-one one-on-one support. And many people just, they want to talk to someone they've never, most people who call do reach out and say, I've never spoken to anyone with the condition. That's what I hear quite often. Yeah. I've never connected with anyone with the condition. I would just love to talk to someone who understands the journey. So that's why we have Hydrocephalus Connect. And you can certainly reach out. You can go to our website and look under support, and you'll find Hydrocephalus Connect in there and just submit a request. And then the Pen Pal program is for our kids that are age 7 to 12. So we connect them to other children because, of course, when you hear adults saying they've never connected with anyone, then I'm absolutely 100% sure there are kids that are feeling quite alone and never connected with other kids that have the condition, and they just feel, it's a hard time. And, when you're having to have surgeries and you're not at school and you can't make friends and you don't understand, you can't explain exactly what your condition is, but you have something, right? That sets you apart or makes you, I don't want to say different. It's just, you just have something that other people don't have, right? But it makes them feel different, and they're no different. So we like to connect kids with other kids by writing. They can write a letter or they can email. Parents, for the younger ones, are usually involved in that process. So if you have a child that's 7 to 12 with the condition, please also, it's on our, support. Go there and you can submit a request for your child.
Nice. Yeah, that's huge because, especially when you're a kid, right? You're already struggling with all the things that kids have to struggle, especially if you're in middle school. Oh, right? Yes. Never want to have to do that again. So support is huge. So that pen pal stuff is a big deal. That's really cool. Thanks. Oh man. And also for people watching that might feel like, no matter what age you are, like if you're feeling alone in the challenges that you're facing with this stuff, you shouldn't be alone. You're not alone, by the way. Exactly. everybody that's had any impact from hydrocephalus, you're right in there with us. And so what advice would you give somebody that maybe is feeling like that and seeking out support or wanting to build some sort of network?
I think, what you're saying is so key. We always say you're not alone. So you definitely are not alone. So you just have to you do need to build that support system, whether it's with your family or someone, most of the time people be like, my family doesn't understand, or with the community that understand. That's why we are here. And that's even as Jeff, as I look at his commercials and things, that's why he's here. He's building the community. And that's what we do. We build community with, individuals, families that understand the condition. So don't be afraid to reach out, connect. Just connect. That's so important to help you to build, as we keep saying, this quality of life. Support is a part of quality of life. So don't be afraid to reach out to find the support you need. That's why these organizations are here, to make sure that you feel supported and not alone in this journey.
Totally. Well, and one of those other programs is it the Helpline? There's a Helpline.
Yes, we do have a Helpline. You can call it anytime, and most likely you're going to get me, unless I'm just off. But you're going to get me, and I will, we'll talk, and I'll answer questions that I can answer. But I also will connect you to the resources, whatever program that's more suitable for you or best fits you.
Okay. And what's the number?
It is, oh gosh, it is 8. Yes. I have to look it up right now.
Could have told me if I wouldn't have asked, right? You. I know.
It is 888-598-3789.
All right. I'm going to throw that one up there for everybody so that they can have that too. 888-598-3789. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Got it up there. Okay. So so I'll leave that up there for a few minutes too. So if you or somebody is struggling and need some support and needs some help or needs to just answer some stinking questions, Because like I said, man, with ICU, when I was talking about that, those doctors, man, they're phenomenal when they're in the OR and doing their thing and, got you on the table and they're like their magic hands, man. But once you leave the hospital, in my experience, they forget your name. So you got to find another support group, because the hospital will support you when you're within their walls, but then you've got to find somewhere to support you after that. So
exactly.
This is a good place to do that. And one of the other ones is correct me if I'm wrong, it's called RAISE.
Yes, so RAISE actually is a new program that we will be kicking off, and that's for parents and caregivers of children that are 18 and below. So it's a resilience program. It was designed by one of the neurosurgeons he's in Alabama, Dr. Brandon Rock, and one of our board members, Tessa Vanda Welligan. She's I'm messing up her name. She's gonna kill me.
That's a mouthful.
I know. Vander Willigen. And also the Pennsylvania School of Positive Psychology is our master's program of positive psychology. So it's an evidence-based curriculum that they've designed, but it is a parent-facilitated one. So it's a scalable one. So it's a peer support kind of program. So we're kicking that off in the new year, as we kind of wait to we get all our ducks in a row, get everything approved and ready to go. We have some parent facilitators that are already trained and ready to go. So we're hoping to get that kicked off in the new year.
And okay, cool. Coming in 2025, everybody. Mm-hmm. Keep an eye on the website. I'm sure you will shout it from the mountaintops when it's ready to go, and it'll be right there on the website.
Exactly. If we have any parents here, and Jeff, I'll put this link in the chat for you. I guess it's a private. However, if we have any parents that would like to learn more about it, or just be aware of when the classes start, I have a link, interest form link that I just sent to Jeff. That you can share with people as well. That's
a big long link. I'm going to put that, what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that in the, when you're watching, while you're watching this, it is going to be in the notes attached to the show. So look down on the information and we'll have the link for Hydrocephalus Association, and we'll also have this link with it. Because if I put it on the screen now, you won't be able to see it.
Okay.
It'll be everywhere. So I love it though. Thank you. I copied it, and I'll put that in there so that people can have access to that. So yeah, no, that's great. That's fantastic. And so the other thing, this is going to sound funny that I don't think this network thing, this whole community thing is so new to me. Honestly, I'm 47 years old, and I'm still not, connected to very many communities, because honestly, and maybe this was a good thing, maybe it was a bad thing, I don't know. But when I was growing up, I had the initial brain surgery to put the shunt in at 2 weeks old. And then I had another one of a revision at 6 months and a revision at 18 years old. And then I didn't have anything for another 18 years. And I didn't have another surgery till I was 36. So I had a nice long break there. And from age 0 to 36, 2 weeks to 36, I didn't really there was not a lot going on that was necessary for me to be in the hospital and doing surgeries. And so my parents were like, everything is cool. They didn't I didn't even know if my teachers knew that I had hydrocephalus, because I was still good. I was good in school. I was active, skateboarding, snowboarding, all the things. Don't tell anybody. I didn't wear a helmet for any of it until about 4 years ago. Don't tell anybody. I was living dangerously for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Last time I went snowboarding, I definitely was wearing a helmet though. Tell you what. But yeah, so it was so normal that it didn't even occur to me that I would, I never met anybody. I think I knew one other person that ever had hydrocephalus growing up. And so for me, I didn't feel like I needed it, but now that I've met so many, it's like, how did I do this without this? This is so cool. Exactly. So even if your experience is smooth sailing, it's still good to have community, everybody.
Exactly. It is so important. And I think you made a good point, right? You said, of course, we want everybody to feel that way. Like smooth sailing, no issues. We want that. That's what we want. But you, at 36, all of a sudden things change. You have to have surgery. So that's one of the things that's why it's so important to have that community, even though things are smooth sailing. It's because you will need, hopefully we don't want anyone ever, but if things do change like that, and most of the time it has, for a lot of people, they've went 40 years and never had an issue. And then all of a sudden, just because things are changing within our body environment, they're having some issues. And now they don't know what to do. They don't really quite understand their condition, and they're like confused. And you know what? And sometimes their parents have passed away too, as well. The people who have taken care of them all their life. And they're on their own, and they're trying to navigate this. And they feel very lost and confused, and they call and they're like, hey, I need some help. I don't even know where to begin. So keeping that community close is important, regardless of how smooth sailing it is.
Exactly. I mean, it's like you don't know that you need it, but having it ahead of time is always better than, what's the expression, jumping out of the plane and building your parachute on the way down.
Exactly.
You don't want to do that. You
You don't.
You want to have that community in place,
And it's so funny, Jeff, too, and I hear this all the time too. People will, when they do call and they're adults and they're like, you know what? I may not necessarily be having an issue, but I've always wondered why I did this, or why my processing seems to be slower than other people.
Yeah.
And now that they're connecting to others, and they're like, yes, this makes sense. I could have had someone I could ask, I could talk to and say, like, I'm not having like any major problems, but there's little things that I had to compensate for that I just felt like no one quite does this but me, So yeah.
That you so hit the nail on the head, man. Compensating. I tell you what, the life of a hydro warrior is one of, I heard an expression a few years ago, and I absolutely love it. And it launch and adjust, launch and adjust, launch and adjust, launch and adjust, continuous adjustment. You have to, and that's right up that alley, man. It's like it's ever changing, and so you never know what's coming around the bend, and it might be something good, might be something bad, but you got to be able to roll with it,
Exactly.
So yeah,
I like that, launch and adjust. I'm going to start using
adjust.
Exactly. I'll be like, I say adapt and overcome, but I'm going to start using launch and adjust.
Hey, launch and adjust is a good one too. And I tell you, it does not have to. And one of the things, I'm trying to remember I don't remember who said it. So I kind of adapted it, and so it's mine now. I don't remember who said it originally, but life doesn't have to be perfect to be amazing.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, right?
So
yes.
if you're going through something right now and you're like, this sucks, this is my 4th revision in a month, or I'm, when am I ever going to get out of this stupid hospital, or when am I going to start my life again? It's just because you're in that situation doesn't mean that life can't be beautiful.
Exactly. You make the best of everything, every situation. Like you said, attitude is most important, and that's what's going to determine how amazing you make things,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe I'll talk about this on the other side of the break, because we're going to take a break in about a minute, but I do have there was in 2014, I had to go into the hospital for a revision. It turned out that there was a bacterial infection in the cerebral spinal fluid, and it was, thankfully it was hanging out in my abdomen, and it hadn't gone to the brain yet, because that's when I got really complicated really quick. And I was in there for 3 weeks, and I ended up having to have two back-to-back revisions, and I came out of there with some crazy side effects, but that we were able to overcome through some really cool stuff. But during that visit, it was, speaking of attitude is the only thing you have 100% control over, I was starting to get a little cranky, in the hospital. I was like, why am I here? It's been 3 freaking weeks. When are we going to get out of here? And I know that's nothing for some people. It's like 3 weeks was a breeze, everybody's different, right? But my dad kind of put me back on the straight and narrow, man. He's like, hey, look, all these people are here to help you, so shut it. You are here and they are helping you, and you need to straighten up your attitude, young man. And even at 36, your dad can smack you around a little bit and get you back on the straight and narrow. So by the end of that visit, I was like, okay, this is cool. And he gave me an idea, so I started writing down everybody's name that helped me, whether it was the person that brought me my dinner, or somebody that changed the sheets on the bed, or somebody that, whatever, brought me my vitamins or whatever it was. Every single person, I wrote down their name on a little piece of paper. And by the end of the visit, I had like 100 names written down after 3 weeks, right? And with from his inspiration, I wrote thank you real big on that board that they write everything on. And wrote every single person's name on the board.
That's amazing.
And I was like, and then just left. I didn't tell anybody about it. I just walked out of the room, and so I hope they saw that and was like, oh, cool, look at that, But that was more between me and my dad, and him kind of smacking my attitude around. And so, but it's true. Your attitude is the only thing you have 100% control.
Exactly. And I bet I bet you've made an impact on those people too as well. You brighten their day up so much. Yeah.
I hope so, because they are amazing and they do incredible work. And I still keep in touch with some of those nurses and people that I've been in touch with. That was years ago. So it was fun. But all right, here we go. We're gonna go to one last break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we're going to tell more stories, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite things to talk about, which is hope. Okay. Right. Yes. So that is, if you don't have hope, man, you're dead in the water already. So especially in this community. So, all right, everybody, stick around. Don't go anywhere. We're almost done. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
In a world where office workers typically receive 130 daily emails and have an 8-second attention span, CoreCentrica, with her 4 decades of international marketing experience, has partnered with the Learning Code Institute and their 30 years of neuroscientific research. Together, we are crafting unique messaging strategies that resonate, connect, and ultimately convert our target audiences. CoreCentrica, where award-winning creativity and disruptive neuroscience come together. Scan this code now, or call and click, and let us show you how CoreCentrica's partnership with the Learning Code Institute is influencing how businesses connect with their audience, foster engagement, and achieve conversions.
Hi, I'm Sarah Stockham, and I'm host of Simply Sarah. Join me Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific on the Achieve TV network for the best energetic tools to elevate your amazing life right here on E360 TV.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And we are speaking with Lakisha Harris, and she's doing awesome stuff at the Hydrocephalus Association. And I have been beneficiary of a lot of that because I just was spending time with the men's group and one of the women's groups that gets together and kind of just powwows about here's my experience and what's going on. It's talking about community, like we were talking about in the last segment, right? Like, gotta feel like you're not alone, right? So
yes.
you're plugging right along with all of that, and it's awesome. And if you didn't catch that second segment, go back and watch it again, because there's a lot of programs in there we talked about that are benefiting people everywhere. So yeah. What I have a question that I like to ask everybody at that comes on the show. There's no wrong answer, by the way. With everything that you've seen people go through, I mean, you yourself do not have hydrocephalus, but I'm sure you have had. I mean, everybody's got a story. Everybody's gone through something, right?
Yes.
And when it's tough, when it's hard, when you've seen people going through stuff, how do you maintain hope?
How do I maintain hope? So I, for myself, so that I can encourage people so that they can get hope. I'm very much what do I want to say? I guess spiritual person. Like, my hope is embedded in the fact that I have a foundation of spiritualness, and I pray and I, seek, a higher power, which is to me is God. So that's where I start, so that I can be hopeful, and then I can also let that hope overflow out of me into others, right? So that means that I'm going to empower people in a way that's possible, so that they can have hope in the future. So that's my main thing that I use for hope. But of course, everybody else that comes around, that I interact with, they also pour in hope too as well. And I when I see those great things happening, or even when people are struggling and they still have a positive attitude and they're good and they're giving, and that also ignites that hope as well.
Right? Totally. See, I'm telling you, I tell people, I get a different answer every single time, and I love it every time, because it's all good. They're all good answers. It's all good. I'm with you though. Yeah, we're Jesus followers in this house too, man.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
So that's the ultimate hope right there. So, by the way, if anybody's curious about that, reach out too. I'd be glad to introduce you. He's a pretty cool guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that's some good hope right there. But how? So I was going to ask you how people can reach out, but then I just put the QR code on the screen. So is there a specific place that they can, where would they go to the website, and then where?
So yeah, if you go to the website, you can always, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see our info at hydrocephalus.org. Email, you can always email, and I will, myself or another team member, which is Sierra, we're like connected at the hip. We're always responding to those. We always respond to those. So that's the fastest way you can get it. You can call, like we put up that 888 number. But all of that is definitely scroll to the bottom, and you'll see that 888 number and the info email account. And then of course, other social media ways to kind of connect with us.
Oh yeah, I mean, geez, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you guys are, especially it was September, right? Was
Hydrocephalus Awareness Month.
Hydrocephalus Awareness. And so if you go to their Facebook page and just go back to some of the posts you guys had in September, I mean, it was everywhere. You couldn't scroll halfway down and not find a way to get in touch with you. So yeah, it was awesome. So yeah, call the number. That's the easy way. So what else is coming up? Is there something? I mean, you said way at the beginning of the show, you were talking about something that you're coming out with, launching in January. Maybe touch on that.
Which is the RAISE program.
Yes.
That's the resiliency that's a resilience program for parents with children 18 and below. So I think you shared the link, the interest form link, in your comment section. Yes. So that's designed for parents who we're trying to help them develop their resilience skills. They already have, most people think that resilience is innate, but not necessarily. You can build on, you can have those skills, you can build on those skills, you can develop feel. So we want to make sure that parents, feel like they can manage for themselves so that they can take care of those who are their loved ones, whether it be their child with hydrocephalus or just their entire family. So building those resilience skills are so important to help the overall management of the condition, quality of life, period, for your entire family.
Yeah. And resilience is different than tolerance, right?
Yes,
like if you're just
exactly.
like pushing through and you're like, oh, we're getting through every day.
That's tolerance.
That's not great. That's going to wear you out so fast. So you want to get to the point that you are rocking it.
Exactly. And we want to make sure that everybody's rocking it.
That's right. And that takes support most of the time.
Yes,
and
it does.
That's what that's about. So yeah, you should not just be pushing through. That is tiring and it will wear you out. So yeah, so look forward to that in January. And that's going to be awesome. Yes. So we've got about, time flies when you're having fun.
I know.
We have about 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left maybe. What is the thing that you would like to leave our audience with today?
I would say, I think I love the theme of hope, if you feel like you don't have any hope at this moment, or you're definitely feeling alone, please, reach out. It can be AHA or it can be through Jeff's university. I love that university, but do get yourself connected. I think important thing is to be connected to people who understand or who's there to help you, inform you, educate you, and inspire you. So that's my biggest thing. I'm big on, quality of life, and all of that entails every component of hope entails or pushes you towards a better quality of life.
Yeah, 100%. And there's so many. I mean, I feel like I've just scratched the surface, and I've with you and with Hydrocephalus Association, and even just the stuff I've learned about. I mean, there's so much more to it. That is the website has so much information and such a wealth of knowledge and resources and help for people that are looking for it. So if you, go wherever makes sense. ICU, great. Hydro Association, great. There's so many great support groups out there and associations. Just find something that works for you.
Exactly.
Just find something. And if you have questions, that's why we have the contact information. So it's all good. So, well, man, like I said, I wish we had another hour, but alas, we do not. We don't want to barge in on the next show that's going to be on after this. So we got to come to a close, but good Lord, Lakisha, I am so glad that we finally got this connected up, got this figured out. And, I just thank you for being here and being so open to just talking and getting everything out there. And thank you for what you're doing.
And thank you for having me, Jeff. And thank you for being so supportive and joining, our groups and talking to, our community, your community. So thank you. We appreciate all that you do as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, man. What a cool organization. I tell you what, you guys, if you haven't checked it out, you really should. I mean, come on, this is a no-brainer. Here, I'm just gonna put the thing up here. There you go. No excuse. I'm gonna put it up there for a little longer. Scan that QR code. Now, thank you for watching. Thank you. If you've been watching for a while, thank you. We love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing the show when you've shared it on social media and things. If this is your first show watching, thank you. We appreciate you. We love you too. And we want you to stick around and just, we always have amazing stories. And I learned something every single episode. It's really cool. So I hope you do too. And so join us for our next episode, which will be on Tuesday, November 26th. November 26th, Tuesday. And we'll have another amazing guest on that day talking about their incredible story. In the meantime, go to social media. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on E360 TV, on your phone, your tablet, your TV, wherever you're watching, thank you for being here. Like, follow, subscribe, share, all the things. Set that reminder so you never miss an episode. We'd love to see you next time. And, I'm going to put this up here again real quick, just in case anybody missed that. Invisible Condition University. I would love to see you there with anybody that you want to bring along that's been along with your journey. I mean, for me, my wife has been my amazing caretaker over the last 25 years of being married, and so and by the way, she's on the call every time too, because patient, caregiver, it all works together. So we're both on there every time. So we'd love to see you there. And until next time, have an amazing day, and we'll see you on the next show.